Hi there folks, before we all talk about Gotham, let's play a little game. Every time that they foreshadow who these characters are going to be, let's all take a drink.
Guess what this is?
Just tell me, Ed. I want riddles, I'll read the funny pages.
Yeah, take it easy, Penguin.
You know I don't like to be called that.
Hi. What's your name?
Ivy.
Alright, I think I'm ready to talk about this show now. Hi there folks, this is Professor Thorgi here, Aaron. I'm screwing this up because I'm a little bit drunk after doing numerous takes of that last bit. But, this is the first video that I have ever done. It's something new that we're trying, and you guys who have followed me before and tell me you know that I blog, I do all kinds of little, like, reviews and stuff. Generally comics, sometimes I talk about movies or video games or other things. But this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, is just start doing a couple of video segments. So I figured that after watching the premiere of Gotham, what better time and what better subject to do our first video on. So, here we go. Now, Gotham is a show on the Fox network that is based on the comic of Batman, as if you didn't know. And if it isn't obvious to you, don't worry, because they're going to remind you of this over and over and over again. I will never complain about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. not using enough stuff from the comics ever again. The moment that this show starts, they're just shoving in there, every chance they get, a different character from the Batman universe. It opens up with a young cat girl, cat woman, cat lady person, I don't know. She stumbles upon Bruce Wayne and his family about to be robbed. And then from there, you don't just get Selina Kyle, but then you have Jim Gordon. It's his first day in Gotham. This is his first case, so that's a big thing, which, you know, that's a pretty cool thing for that to be his first day on the job. In fact, there's a really good moment there that I really enjoyed where Alfred comes up. He picks up Bruce, and Jim Gordon says, "Don't worry, I'm going to make sure that I find who did this," and he just goes, "Your first day?" And I really dug that because he was basically kind of saying, yeah, everybody in Gotham is corrupt. All the police don't care. So the fact that this guy actually seemed like he was going to care, it basically told Alfred, yeah, you haven't been corrupted yet. I really dug that. But then, like I said, this show kept taking me out of it, because it's not that they wanted to include elements from the Batman universe. That's totally cool, and I'm glad that they did. It's they shove it in there so hard. I don't really like that I just did that hand signal while saying shove it in there so hard. Oh, I'm horrible. But, like, you've got the Riddler in there as, like, the guy who works at the morgue for the cops, and every single line he says, he only has, like, 3 lines in this, every single one of them is a riddle, or someone saying to him, "You need help, Enigma," and I was like, Jesus, get it, man. And then they go to investigate who they think the suspect might be, and this little redhead girl opens up the door and they ask, "Well, what's your name?" And she goes, "Ivy," which at first, it kind of hit me. I was like, but her name in the comics is Pamela Isley. Her name has never been Ivy Pepper, which is what it is in the show. Why on earth would they change it? And that's kind of what really hit me, is that, wow, these guys really did not have any hope that the audience would catch on. They were so afraid that the audience would not get this, that they were like, no, we have to change her name to Poison Ivy. Her name has to sound like Poison Ivy, otherwise no one's ever going to get this. But then you also have the Penguin in there, which they shove his name in there numerous times. Like, the people make fun of Cobblepot looking like a penguin because of his nose, and every single time that they do it, they don't just go, "Eh, come on, Penguin." They go, "Yeah, come on, Penguin." And I was like, oh, Jesus, man, we understand, we know. It's, who else in Gotham has that nose? That's all. We just needed to see that nose and that comb over. We would have gotten it. And the weirdest one to me, this is the oddest one of them all, is that I knew the Joker couldn't be in there. Because anybody who knows about the origin of the Joker, they know that Batman created him. Batman's the one who knocked him into the vat of chemicals. But then there's a moment in there in which Fish Mooney, who was a character that was created just for this show, she's having dinner and she's having a personal stand-up comedian perform just for her. And there's no one else in the crowd, and it's just a stand-up comic performing. And I will say this. One thing that really ticks me off whenever you have a stand-up comic in a television show is that the people writing it can't write jokes, and they just have them tell the worst jokes. This guy was actually kind of funny. I actually kind of liked him, I'll give him that. But they kept cutting back to this stand-up comic up there. Like Fish Movie is on the phone, like threatening someone, and you just have the stand-up comic up there, just like, this is interesting. Oh my, I guess I'm just gonna fill up something over here and listen in. This is interesting. And I was like, why are they giving this comic so much attention? Oh God, it's the Joker. They have already introduced the Joker into this, and I will give them credit on this. I kept expecting Fish Movie to turn to him and go, you're a real good kid. I like you. You're going some places. You're a real Joker. They didn't do that. I will give them credit for that. Bravo on that. So yeah, it's just with them just constantly shoving in all these characters. Because that's the thing, I saw tons of posters promoting this thing, and every single one that was just a face. And it said, like, before they were this, they were this. All those characters are in this first episode. They are just jam-packed in this thing. I need to stop doing hand signs when I say stuff like that. They are all just, I'm just gonna sit on my hands. They're all just all over the place in this. And it made it kind of hard for me to get into this first episode because, yeah, they were just basically saying, hey, this is based on Batman. Yeah, in case you didn't know, because it's called Gotham. But, you know, in case you didn't get that, there's a dude called the Penguin right there. So, you know, it just kind of took me out of it. But let's talk about the good in here. Like I said, Jada Pinkett is playing a character in here called Fish Mooney, who is not based on anybody from the comics. She's a brand new character, which I really like that. Because, you know, there were people in Gotham before Batman. Like, it was a very corrupt city before that. So I can fully understand them wanting to include some characters and make up characters we haven't seen before. And I really dig that she's going up against Falcone, because that was one of the parts of, like, Batman's mythos, is that Gotham was run by the Falcone family before he got there, and he just took them out. So I really do that we're going to get to see, like, the gang war going on there. And I really think that they place the seeds for the Falcone family pretty well. You don't see too much of them. But Jada Pinkett actually does a really good job in this. And I'll say this about Fish Movie's crew. They're not afraid to beat the crap out of anyone. I will give this show that credit. This is some violent beatings that they have in this show. Like, I would not expect this on network television, so I will applaud them for being willing to go to that lengths. But going over to the good guys, we get Renee Montoya and Crispus Allen there, both characters who I always really enjoyed, although we didn't really see a lot of them yet, but Allen doesn't really seem like he was in the comics. Like, if memory serves me correct, I can never remember a moment in which Allen was out of a suit. Like, that guy always looked professional, and here he just looked like a regular beat cop, which, you know, maybe they're saying this is his origin, this is how he got there. That's fine, so we'll wait and see on that one. You got Donald Loge as Bullock. I've always liked Bullock as a character, and I've always liked Loge as an actor, and it seems like that's perfect casting. Like, I think that's a great job. Although, I don't really dig what they're doing with Bullock. Like, Bullock used to be one of the corrupt cops, and then eventually he became good. So, of course, at the start of the show, he's gonna be one of the corrupt cops. But he was always a slob, and they call him a slob in this. But he was always just one of those like, what you gonna do? That's how it goes in Gotham. Forget it, Jack, it's Gotham City. In here, he is like a snarling villain. You know, there are moments where he's like, yeah, this is Gotham. That's how it's run here. And you either get with the program or you're out. I'm like, that's not Bullock to me at all. So, once again, we'll have to wait and see on that guy. Ben McKenzie, who you might remember from the OC. Yeah, that guy is all grown up now. And he's Commissioner Gordon, which is weird because I can still kind of see that kid from the OC in there. He's alright. He doesn't add a whole lot to this yet. You know, this show is full of characters. And so far, he's the stable one. He's in the middle. And it's kind of hard to be the standout when you're the neutral character in a show. But we'll see if he has time to develop. That's the theme of this whole review. We'll wait and see. Although I will say one thing that they've already done with him that I'm not a fan of is they introduced his wife Barbara, which I will admit, I'm a big comic book fan, but I forgot that his wife's name was also Barbara. So the moment that she popped up, my first thought was, did they just turn his daughter, Barbara Gordon, into his wife in this adaptation? So thank God, they're not doing that. I forgot, his wife was also named Barbara. One thing that I always liked about Gordon is that he was down there in the filth of Gotham. He lived in a crappy apartment in Gotham, especially when he started out. Here they have him in the most sleek, high-rise apartment with a fireplace and just a giant window looking out on the city, and like his wife runs an art gallery, and so they're incredibly wealthy, and it's like, I'm not digging that. That takes away, actually, a little bit of his character. I will say that the standout star of this so far is definitely hands down the Penguin. I wasn't totally digging him at first, but then at the end, what they do with his character, I was like, they have totally sold me on the Penguin's origin story for this Gotham world. Like, I'm totally sold on that. But that brings us to the last character who I have not talked about, and that is Bruce Wayne himself. This is a big mistake in my eyes. The whole point of Gotham is kind of to show what Gotham is like without Batman. And you've got 10-year-old Bruce in there, and at first I always got the feeling like it was just going to be like hints of Bruce, like, you know, he was going to be here maybe for the beginning and then he was going to disappear, you know, because that's part of Batman's mythos, is that he leaves Gotham. He leaves it to go and train. We have him in here as a little tiny kid, and it's made pretty clear early on that Gordon is going to help kind of raise Bruce. He's going to help kind of mentor him, because you see him there saying things like, I need to train to overcome fear, and then Gordon has to tell him, that's stupid, kid. How amazing it would be if he actually said that. Batman would never have existed if he said that. But it's made pretty clear Bruce is going to be a major part of this series. And that's no good. Don't do that. And there's multiple reasons why. Batman's origin is very interesting. He's got a great origin story. No one is arguing that. However, when you see grown-ass Bruce Wayne going, I need to train to overcome fear, that's cool. When you see 10-year-old Bruce Wayne going, I need to learn how to overcome fear, that's just silly. That's like, you hear that, and I just want Alfred to tan his hide and just tell him, boy, go and do your algebra homework, because that's just stupid when you hear it coming from a little child. It's like, the boy's trying his hardest, don't get me wrong, the actor himself is trying his hardest. It's just the fact that you can't hear a 10-year-old child say that. Honestly, people are gonna get mad at me for saying this, but you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Anakin from episode 1. Of when it was like, yeah, you're gonna get to see the origin of Darth Vader. This is what I call pod racing. It's like, no, I can never look at Darth Vader the same way again. It's not working. But, and also, like I said, you get little glimpses of Bruce Wayne. And you get glimpses that, like, stuff is going on in his head whenever Gordon visits him. And you know Batman's story is happening right over there. And the whole premise of this show is it's Gotham City without Batman. You can't keep constantly going, yeah, but Batman's story is like right over there. Because you know what it makes me want to do? It makes me kind of want to go and see what Batman's doing. It makes me kind of want to see Batman's story and all this. And that's honestly kind of leads me into what my big complaint about the show is. It's that this is a show that doesn't know what it wants to be. This is a show that it wants to be a gritty cop drama, which, hey, all for that. Hooray, I'm down. But then you've got this weird CGI landscape and rooftops whenever you see them that look like it's out of a superhero film, and then you'll be getting nice gritty environments with these characters, and then all of a sudden, like I said, you'll have some guy come in and he's just telling riddles all over the place. Or the weirdest part of this whole thing, there's a moment where Bullock and Gordon are strung up, and they're about to be cut into by the mob, but the mob just doesn't go at them like they are. They then all of a sudden have this guy wearing an actual old school executioner black mask come in with like all of a sudden this heavy blasting music behind him. It's like, what the show is this all of a sudden? Where was the cop drama I was just watching? It's so weird. They're trying to mesh so many things together. And it's like, you know, there's a moment, even when it's like just the police procedural stuff, when it's just them investigating, all of a sudden you get this rocking music in the background. It's like this, none of this. It's like 9 different guys made this show and they each had a different idea of what they want. And I know that I'm being hard on the show. I know that I am. But you have to understand, the reason I'm being so hard on the show is because this is the show I wanted. This, I've been saying for the longest time, and I hate that this is my first video because I can't go back and reference anything or give you proof of this, but trust me, for the longest time, whenever anyone asked, what superhero TV show do you want to see, my answer was always GCPD. I always wanted to see the Gotham City Police Department as a television show, put on HBO, get Bryan Cranston to play Gordon, don't have it be the young thing. And this is what's ticking me off about this, is that this isn't like screwing up a Superman TV show. You screw up a Superman TV show, guess what? We'll have another one in 5 years. It'll be just fine. This is the only time anyone's ever going to attempt this. No one is ever going to try and attempt Gotham ever again. And it's ticking me off. I'll be honest with you. It's ticking me off that there's so much you could do with this, and they are kind of screwing themselves already. I know that a lot of people are saying, well, how can you judge what they're screwing up by just this one episode? Well, first off, they cram a lot of stuff in this first episode. So you already get kind of an idea of what they're going for, and they can always change that. But, as I said, they wanted this to be set so far back that Bruce Wayne is 10 years old. First off, as I've said before, I don't want Bruce Wayne in this for squat. You can mention the Wayne Foundation in the back. You can have Gordon, talk about how that was his first day on the job doing that case. Fine. I'm cool with that being a present theme every now and again. But don't set it so far back that Bruce Wayne is still a kid. Because you know what you do then? You then make every other character have to be a kid. Or you make them have to be like a teenager or a 20-something, and then all of a sudden you've got a weird age gap between Batman and his other characters. What I always wanted this show to be is I wanted it to be just 5 years before Batman shows up. And then you know what you could get? You could get like Harley Quinn in there, but you could have her actually being as like a serious psychiatrist who they actually go to for help. And you get like just that occasional little hint of what she is. You could have things where like, throughout an entire year, the villain that they're trying to catch. Do it like Dexter. Do it like Dexter, where every single season is a different villain. But it's not the goofy, costumed villains that Batman always fights. But it's like, you could have the Riddler be a villain for an entire season. But he's not in the question mark green suit. He's just some guy who's committing murders and crimes and leaving clues for the police to find and outsmarting them in every step of the way. And then at the end of the season, Gordon finally catches him, and it's just some guy with glasses and a vest and a tie, and he just says, yeah, I wanted you to catch me because I was getting bored of this and you guys aren't good enough. And now I'm going to escape without you guys even knowing it because you can't stop me because none of you are worthy. And then, you keep setting up stuff. You set up Harvey Dent because you can't have Harvey Dent in this show. You can't have Bruce Wayne's best friend now be a guy, he's some 30-year-old politician who Bruce Wayne will happen to know later on. But if you set it just 5 years before Batman shows up, there's so many things you can do. Like I said, you could set up Harvey Dent, Harley Quinn, you could set up the Riddler, so many other characters, and you could have the superhero element not be crammed down our throats. Not be crammed down our throats like it is in this, but be almost like a supernatural thing, where it's this ever-present thing that no one can really identify in the background. You could have, set up the heroes as well as the villains, not just, showing the villains, but you could have things like where Renee Montoya keeps getting anonymous tips from some guy who you only see in a silhouette in an alleyway somewhere, and one day she finally asks who he is, and he just steps out of the shadows and he's wearing a bowler hat and a trench coat, and he just goes, well, now isn't that the question? Something like that. And then you could have it all set up. You could have this be like a 5-year running TV show, and every single season you're setting up something different, and then all kind of comes together in that final season. And that's the season where the villain that they're trying to catch is some vigilante who's running around just beating up criminals. And then at the end, all these elements explode. The Riddler comes back. Harvey Dent gets scarred and he turns into Two-Face. You could have Harley Quinn, she meets some nut job who just completely distorts her perception of reality, and now she's a whack job too. And it's all coming together. And it finally ends with Gordon and the GCPD going, maybe we need this vigilante. Maybe we need to fight fire with fire. And it's the origin of how the GCPD came into the Batman world and how they formed this partnership. I know that's really specific, but like I said, I've wanted this for a long time. And I'm not saying they had to do something like that. But seeing them set so far back, it made me look at the pitch that I wanted for it and made me realize you can't do any of that now. And it never will happen. So, like I said, with this first episode, all I can really do is just wait and see. It wasn't that bad. Like I said, they set up the Penguin really well. Fish Mooney's kind of cool. The whole Falcone family in the background is fine. But they're screwing up a lot of stuff so far. And it does kind of hurt that this is the only GCPD show that we'll ever get. But it can still pull itself around, and we can't wait and see. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning into this. Like I said, I want to do one of these for a long time. Hopefully this turned out well. Every single time that I'm going to do one of these, I'm going to be learning, I'm going to be improving. So I know that this isn't much now, but hopefully we're going to get a little bit better with time. So thank you guys for supporting it. If you want to know more from me, you can always follow me on Tumblr. I'll put the address right up here. If you like this, please subscribe below. Please hit that thumb up button. Please leave a favorable response. There's a lot of stuff you can do down in that area. Thank you guys. This was great. Enjoy. And I have no sign off. Professor Thorgi, out.